Warning, despite the subject matter at the focus of these videos, my reviews are not intended for viewers under the age of 13, so if you're not of age, turn off the video now. Are they gone? Great, let's get to the intro already. One of the drawbacks of reviewing these episodes in streaming order is I'm not aware of when an episode airs in relation to the rest of the series. That's why when I talked about the Halloween and Christmas specials, I waited until after the season 1 finale. That's how Netflix has those episodes listed. I bring this up now because based on the very little research I've done for this episode, it is a sports special. You heard that right, Power Rangers made a sports special, and unlike the other specials, this one is placed in the middle of the season at the same point it aired on the original release schedule, right after episode 29. Having a sports special is odd for a variety of reasons, not the least of which being this is hardly the first time Power Rangers has had a sports-based episode. Hell, the Dino Charge Megazord wielded a fucking baseball bat one time. However, this episode was made specifically to promote the 2020 Olympics, the ones that didn't happen until this year because they couldn't take place last year. Yeesh, another point of bad luck for this season. Potential apocalypses aside, this episode suddenly has much more to live up to now that I have all that backstory, even though it's not enough for me to title this video a sports special review. For one thing, this is the first Power Rangers sports special, plus the title doesn't really give me a special vibe, so I'm gonna keep referring to this as episode 30. In any event, let's see how Power Rangers handles its first sports special as we look at Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode 30, Boxed In. The episode opens with reporter Reeves announcing that the Pan-Global Games are set to begin in Coral Harbor. Like the Olympics, many teams from around the world have come to compete in various events like track and field, swimming, and gymnastics. Unlike the Olympics, there's apparently going to be several events taking place at the same time, and the Rangers, like everyone else in town, try to figure out what to watch first. Steel brings up basketball, which makes sense because it's a newly learned sport for him, and Ravi brings up weightlifting, which I guess he's into because of his gorilla strength. Commander Shaw comes in to tell the team that she needs 3 of them to do a routine check on several Morphex towers across the city. Why she says only 3 of them are needed when all 5 of them are standing there, I don't know, but the important thing is Steel's worried about missing the games, and Shaw lays out the moral of responsibility for the Rangers. Devin assures the commander that they'll get the job done, but the other Shaw wonders if all of them are needed for this task.
Oh, hold on. I'll miss the weightlifting. Why should all of us have to miss some of the events when only 3 really need to work?
Because we're a team, that's why.
Sure, but I'll miss weightlifting.
Who the hell cares if you miss weightlifting? Aren't you supposed to be the by-the-book Blue Ranger? Because of Ravi's urgings, the team draws names out of a hat to decide who stays to work, and surprisingly, Ravi and Steel are free to go to the games. At the fortress, Blazebot and Roborox realize that with everyone at the games, the town is basically defenseless, and make a plan to crush the Rangers so that Evox will be happy when he returns from mayoring. After the 3 working Rangers check on the first tower, they run into a Robotron, and Ravi and Steel have the audacity to be disappointed when they're called away from the games. The Rangers morph into action to take on the weight-themed robot, but end up trapped under a giant barbell before Ravi and Steel arrive. The Blue Ranger fights the Robotron, while Silver tries to free the others, but he's not strong enough. Side note, I love Steel's cockiness in this moment. It's just perfect. Ravi's having better luck since he uses wrestling moves to throw the Robotron on his ass before blasting him to bits. With the robot defeated, the Blue Ranger uses uses his super strength to help Steel lift the giant barbell, and Devin says he's headed back to GB to give Shaw the results of the first tower. Before he leaves, however, Ravi realizes he missed the first weightlifting event and starts bitching to the others for not trying hard enough against the Robotron before calling he and Steel. Devin rightfully calls Ravi out for being unfair, but the Blue Ranger goes further by saying that no one cares about he and Steel wanting to see the games. Devin says Ravi doesn't care about the MorphX towers even though the Rangers are responsible for protecting them, and this argument is so backwards it makes my head hurt. As Devin heads back to GB, Shaw calls the Rangers about a Gigadrone incoming, so the Red Ranger heads to the coordinates while the other Rangers are held up in traffic. Meanwhile, Blazebot and Roborox teleport next to a stadium to just stab it with a Robotron key, and while Devin is mid-fight with the Gigadrone, he suddenly gets teleported, Zord and all, into a boxing ring. Devin tries to figure out what's going on when he hears an announcer voice introduce Alpha Drone as the Red Racer's opponent, but luckily Devin still has communication with GB, so the others are alerted to his predicament. When the Rangers get to the stadium, a screen materializes on the side of the building to show them what's happening inside, and they also comment about how the Red Racer's in a boxing match with the Gigadrone. Ravi tries to use his gorilla strength to open the entrance door, but when it doesn't budge, the Rangers plan to use the Striker Megazord to break in. Meanwhile, inside the arena,
the Racezord's trying something! It's a clothesline! What a maneuver!
Ah yes, the popular boxing move of a clothesline. Nope, this isn't boxing. This is a wrestling match, by God! And a tag team shown up to make the Red Racer's life a living hell! Outside, the Rangers try to break the roof with the Striker Megazord, and all their efforts are useless. But the real action's inside the ring, brother! Red Racer tries to hold his own against the Beta Drone, but the giant barbell is just too much, and oh! He blocked it! Beta dropped the barbell, and oh! He got hit with the super kick! Red Racer hit him with the super kick right on the button! Gamma Drone has to tag in, but what's this? He's dancing, everyone! He is dancing! And the Red Racer's not taking him serious, but oh! What a flurry of kicks out of nowhere! That unorthodox style from the Gamma Drone! Red Racer's knocked into the ropes, and Beta's got him! He's holding him, everyone! This is a double team! Man, I wish we had a referee to get control of this match, because this is just a mugging! We'll be back after these messages. Back outside, the Rangers see another Gigadrone preparing to enter the building, so they try to hitch a ride with cables, but that doesn't work out so well. Back to the action inside, the Red Racer just keeps getting pummeled. Oh no, looks like Gamma's setting up for a big finish, and oh, the Red Racer moved out of the way. Beta's been eliminated by his own partner. What a turn of events. Outside, the Rangers are met by Tronics, so it's Battleizer time, and Yellow and Blue take the lead to fight off the foot soldiers. Once the Tronics are defeated, Nate says he can tweak the Ultrazord program to work with the Beast X King Zord, and that should be powerful enough to break into the stadium. Inside,
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
welcome back everyone! Delta Drone has arrived and the GD tag team's been reformed! That's right, god damn is back in business! I don't think Red Racer's got what it takes to take on these former champions! They're beating the hell out of him in that classic kick and punch technique! Oh no! Red Racer's wrapped in the ropes! This is not good! Very not good for the hometown hero! Now GD's got him right where they want him! They know this match is over! They're just toying with the young man! But what's this? Red Racer slips free from the ropes and delivers a double drop kick. I've never seen such feats of athleticism in all my years as a broadcaster. What's gonna happen after this word from our sponsors? The other Rangers Zord up with the Beast X King Zord all separated until the Beast X King Ultra Zord is formed, and it looks fucking awesome. Using the Ultra Zord staff, the Rangers finally break the building, but it turns out to be a giant Robotron that had Gigadrones and the Red Racer inside it, which means no more in-ring action. Shame. Boxertron continues to commentate as the Gamma Drone and Delta Drones fight the Ultra Zord, but the thing is just too powerful and both drones are scrapped quickly. It's up to Boxertron now to beat the Ultra Zord, but he can barely make a dent in it before the Ultra Zord chucks the Red Racer at him to get knocked down before he's finally finished for good with an Ultra Strike. After the fight, Steel gushes over the new Ultra Zord before Ravi sees what time it is and tells the others the games are almost over for the day. Nate tries to cheer cheer up Ravi by reminding the Blue Ranger he got to see some of the games, and Ravi apologizes for acting so selfish earlier. Steel says Devon was right all along, so the Rangers plan to check all the remaining Morphex towers, and the episode ends with the team having finished their duties and walking in to watch the karate finals of the Pan Global Games. This episode is good despite its efforts to try and piss me off. It's oddly reminiscent to the Pavlova episode of Dino Supercharge, where the Megazord stuff was awesome and the Ranger stuff was dumber than a doornail. This episode has a similar problem, but rather than the Rangers' side plot being ridiculous, this time it's just Ravi's characterization that drove me up a wall. Beast Morphers really thought the best way it can showcase a responsibility moral is by having the by-the-book Blue Ranger act completely out of character. The guy who just a few episodes ago defended Steel for punishing people that broke rules is suddenly okay with not doing his Ranger duties because he'll miss out on weightlifting at the Pan Global Games. It's not an issue that he likes weightlifting suddenly, but it is a big problem that he puts this new hobby above everything else he's doing and whines to everyone that he doesn't get to do what he wants. This would have been much more tolerable if Beast Morphers threw in real Roxy, because at least then I could understand Ravi wanting to ignore his responsibilities to spend time with his girlfriend, but instead she's not here and we're not supposed to talk about that. What makes this plotline worse is how the Pan Global Games are the most disorganized sporting event I've ever seen. The Real World Olympics goes on for multiple days, is televised, and even has clips shown on YouTube. However, these Pan Global Games that are based on the Olympics apparently only go on for one day, have many events taking place at the same time, and the only way you can watch it is by physically going to one stadium in the city. I really don't understand what's so hard about Ravi checking the Morphex with the other Rangers and having his face in his phone the whole time if weightlifting is that fucking important to him. But this is just another example of Power Rangers wanting to portray a moral without thinking out all the details. I don't even know why we need a moral anyway, considering how lazy the episode is at handling it. When the real plot of this episode rears its head, and the Rangers are in a race against time to rescue Devon, Ravi says nothing about feeling guilty or how Devon exploded at him earlier. It's another moral that the show gives lip service to, and without it, this would be my favorite episode of the season. Even though they call it boxing, the wrestling side of this episode was so much fun and entertaining that it almost made me more angry at Ninja Steel because that season had the potential to give me stuff like this in every episode. Turns out I just needed to wait a few years for Hasbro to come along and show what wrestling in Power Rangers can really look like, and it's amazing. In fact, I had such a good time with this, I hope there's a video that exists of Boxertron and Flitch from Jungle Fury calling past Megazord fights, because that would be the best. Overall, this episode is good, bordering on great. Beast Morphers might be playing to the judge here, but I really loved the wrestling aspect of this episode, so much that it saved the episode from relying solely on mishandled characters and a lack of narrative consistency. If this is what I have to look forward to in future sports specials, I'm all for it. I just hope that next time, Power Rangers doesn't try to force an unnecessary moral to ruin the fun. I had a blast with this episode, and that earns it a recommendation. I'm Nick, aka IronBet1993, and may the power protect you. Good night, everyone!